Hi, and welcome to AltTabMe.com, the community that outlasts release dates, Wildstar podcast. In these podcasts, we talk about anything and everything that has to do with Wildstar that we think is cool or interesting. There's a little bit of a catch. These podcasts are only 30 minutes long. At the end of the 30 minutes, we stop, no matter what we're talking about. This opens it up for the community. We want you guys to come tweet us at AltTabMe, go to AltTabMe.com, talk on our community forums, and to ask us questions for this podcast, for the next podcast, for podcasts that we haven't even done. So this week we got some really cool information. We got the last races for the Exiles and the Dominions. And for this week, we're going to be talking about the Exiles. So with that said, the clock starts now. So guys, we finally have a full, complete faction for both sides.
Finally.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So no more guessing, no more redacted, no more any of that shit. Now we can just talk about it and go crazy about it. So why don't we jump right into that? The new race for the Exiles are called the Mordesh.
And that
I like the way Fox says it. Mordesh.
they are the Mordesh.
Much better, yes.
There you go.
That's good, actually. You want us to do that again? So the new faction for the Exiles are...
The Mordesh.
Well done, sir. Well done. So what are the Mordesh? What are they?
Space zombies.
Yeah, well,
Sort of.
Yeah, I would say zombies. A lot of people have been saying, "Oh, they look like undead," because the one picture that people saw was like the forearm, where half the forearm was missing and it was encased in a force field or a glass jar with liquid or something in it. But from the lore that we've seen, it's more like a zombie type thing. They tried to make immortality and it kind of backfired on them.
See, I'd say they look a little bit more steampunky.
Well, they definitely don't look like zombies.
No, they've got the whole, like, you know, some little thing over here that's pushing out like some goo, like some shit here holding in some goo, some stuff
Most
here
of them
with
have
goo.
goggles.
Yeah, they got goggles. Exactly.
Yeah, they're sort of like, they look like they're ravaged by the disease, so it's sort of the zombie feel. And then they have, I guess, cybernetics. I don't know if everyone's played Deus Ex, but it's sort of like, you know, like melding of machine and what's left of their bodies, really putting them together, trying to keep themselves in one piece so they can find a cure for their horrible illness that they have acquired.
So the background, for those that don't know about the Mordesh, or sorry, about the
Mordesh.
is they were originally like the most beautiful faction in the entire galaxy. I'm probably embellishing a little bit, but I think that's what they said. Anyway, so they were like, you know, awesome, and the Dominion was like, oh, you guys are really fucking awesome, you're beautiful, you fit in with us, come join us. And they were like, sure, no problem, we like to be perfect just like everybody else. And one of their perfect scientists made a everlasting life elixir. Yeah, that didn't work out so well because it turned out to be the zombie plague.
So just to be clear, are we saying that basically this race is Tristan as a zombie?
Thanks. Thank you. It's my pink beard. Anyway, well, I see they have pink too. You could be pink. You can make your liquid pink. That sounds so weird. They're filled with liquid that makes like, you know, like a what was that thing in Jurassic Park that held things together?
Amber?
Amber, you know, like liquid amber kind of thing.
Yeah, because they have pieces falling off, so they just put up little containment units on whatever piece fell off.
Anyway, moving on to the continued lore of these guys. So they drank this elixir. It was supposed to give them everlasting life. It did not. It actually started to kill off majority of their race, which really sucks because then the Dominion was like, well, you know, we don't, you know, we're not all about this. And they quarantined everybody. They were like, you are all secluded to over there. We don't want to get your damn plague. And then I believe their head of the Lazarus guy, something, I don't remember his name. He created a cure for it, but not like a cure, basically something that just kind of like stopped it, you know, so they could put these like bionic pieces on themselves and it would stop the degeneration. And so they saved a bunch of them, but the Dominion were still like, no, you're not the perfect race anymore. And not taking my head off. Hey, now Damien has a shaved head. Yay! So they're like the perfect race. And then what the hell else happened?
And they had them under quarantine because the Dominion didn't trust that the backfire of the elixir that made them all ravagey and want to eat each other was cleaned up. So the Exiles started going in and ran the blockade and actually rescued a few of them, a small percentage of the population, off of the planet that they were all quarantined on. So the Mordesh were all, well, screw the Dominion. You guys aren't helping us. You just, stabbed us in the back at the first sign of trouble. So we're going to join the Exiles and figure out a way to make ourselves back to perfect. And in the meantime, we're going to destroy the Dominion. So they decided that they were going to have the alliance with the Exiles instead of the Dominion, which they were aligned with in the beginning.
Yeah, and they're not like, so, the Dominion got the Chua, which are like, crazy and like, goofy kind of guys. The Mordesh are kind of mean. They're the mean guys, I guess, on the Exiles. They're the bad guys. They're the they're allied because they had nowhere else to go, and they're lean, mean killing machines, and their ideas are based off deception, stealth, covert ops, shit like that. And even the way that the Exiles pulled them out of the Dominion's like grasp is actually really funny. They took them piece by piece because their bodies are so fucked up. So they were like literally just like piecemealing. I'm like, hey, FedEx, I need to send an arm. You know what I mean? You hope your package comes on time, otherwise the brain goes bad. So
yeah, to me, the Mordesh are kind of like that asshole friend you have that if you take him to the bar, you're probably going to get in a fight because he's going to pick one. But at the same time, if
you'll
you are
win
in a bar fight,
he's
the guy you want.
Except then you get to the bar, and instead of him starting the fight, you're going up to everybody and be like, what? Because you got your buddy behind you.
So that's how I see the Mordesh as far as just kind of general feel.
It's pretty dark because they're driven by this hatred and now vengeance towards the Dominion now, and because the Dominion crushed them so quickly and contained them. They just turned right around on them. So it's an alliance of convenience, I guess, with the Exiles for the most part. And you get the impression from the trailers that the rest of the Exiles are a little wary of them because they don't know exactly what they could do to everybody and who exactly they're aiming their hatred at. For the most part,
the way the Exiles perceive the Mordesh kind of makes me think of how the Dominion perceive the Makari. It's sort of like if you go through the race list, there's almost like a 1-on-1 of each sort of archetype of race. There's the baseline average race, which is the humans. Both sides have the human race because lots of people pick human because that's what they know. People like to look like themselves, so they tend to go for the thing that looks like them.
No, I need the race before they got infected to look like myself, right?
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Gaffney recently has had a couple interviews, Jeremy Gaffney, where he's explicitly said that about humans, where they had humans on both sides because they looked at the numbers for World of Warcraft, and at launch 60% of the people made a human as their first character because it's what they related to. And then on top of that, you've got all your friends and spouses and whoever that's playing with you. So the game was so heavily imbalanced to Alliance side because you've got all the pretty races and you have the humans that they had to go in and actually tweak the game and patch in stuff later to get people to transfer over to Horde and actually clear out that imbalance. That's why they put humans on both sides so that you could not just automatically have, this is a new game. I'm not going to worry about having to deal with stuff that's unfamiliar in my class type. So you can have the humans on both sides, and then hopefully that'll help balance better.
Yeah, and just so people know, because there's been like lots of debates. We've had debates. We've held questionable posts and stuff. And the horde from World of Warcraft, which I always find very interesting. I like stats. I think stats are very cool. Not stats like 1+1. You know, like fuck that shit. I like stats that are like human nature to see why people did things. And if you look at it in the beginning of WoW, like Tig said, the horde were the underdogs, lore and choosing wise. And the funny thing is that, you know, everybody over what 10 years now has said for the horde so many times that literally the horde are now the top, and so they're no longer the underdog. If you're on the horde side, you're guaranteed to go kick some ass because you can always have numbers on your side versus the alliance, who are like, you know, who plays the alliance? The French play the alliance. Which actually no, but that is a true fact. That is a true fact. In Paris, they prefer the alliance over the horde. I wasn't trying to be snarky, a little snarky, but anyway, no, it's very interesting because now you've got these two races, the Exiles and the Dominion, and I feel like the Dominion is what makes people, they look at it and they go, this is very horde like. Because you've got, you know, the Draken, and I'm not going to get into much detail. We'll do the podcast on that one. But what I am saying is that the Exiles, I believe, will be the underdog in lore and in play, and I feel like that's going to be really cool. So that's why I'm excited about the Exiles.
The other thing I get. Go ahead.
One of you talk. Mike, go.
Well, what I was going to say with that whole horde versus alliance thing of which one's which, the big thing that's really selling it for me that alliance is Dominion and Exiles is horde is that if you kind of look at it lore-wise, the alliance were the ones that were coming in and kind of raping and pillaging and taking over and pushing the indigenous races out, where if they were orcs or if they were trolls or whatever, because they just wanted to take over, thought they were ugly, thought they were more privileged.
Yeah, well, let's because I know you're gonna get trolled on YouTube. Let's just preface this. We're talking about World of Warcraft, not Warcraft. Okay, World of Warcraft changed the whole balance of power. Okay, so just before you get your crazy hats on.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah, so that's where I feel the difference is. That's where I feel that you can kind of make that comparison, but I think they've also done a great job of trying to balance it out in a lot of ways. Damien was talking about it earlier, you know, humans on both sides. They've got the archetypes on each side. They've got the cutesy on both sides now. They've got the
bad guy,
the big brawler, the you know, like I said, the asshole you want to bring to the bar with you. So I'm hoping it'll help make the factions balance really well.
Yeah, so what
agree.
would sorry,
outnumbered.
Allergies, man. What would you tell someone that wants to play so if you wanted someone to play the Exiles with you, what would your selling point be? What would the selling point of the Exiles be at this point?
I'm like, dude, I'm rolling Exiles. Roll Exiles.
I think lore-wise, it's similar to the Horde. So if they like that kind, I mean, obviously it's not exactly the same, it's set in space, whatever, but it's similar to the Horde because the Horde had an alliance of convenience, like Tig just said. The alliance was running around, killing everybody, and basically forced them into this alliance. And that's sort of what the Exiles are. They're like mercenaries and like smugglers and like you said, the Mordesh is kind of thrown together and trying to make a new home for themselves and keep the Dominion out of it. So it's sort of very similar, like plot lines, basically. Like the general arc for the Exiles is very similar to Horde.
So what? Okay, go ahead.
Well, the thing that would sell me on, if someone was telling me, is what type of person do you want to play as the whole faction? Because the whole Dominion faction to me seems like we're the guys that are come in and just steamroll you, and we're the guys, we're the kind of, I keep saying it, but kind of the assholes, kind of the bullies.
Assholes.
But if you want to play, if you want to play the kind of nicer faction, I would say the ones that have more of a tendency to choose the path that will help others versus choose the path that's going to help me. And I'm not talking actual paths as game mechanics. Go for Exiles. You go for the people that are are more on the side of I want to be a little bit nicer and I want to have the
Don't
voice
shoot on
actors.
sight kind of thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
Talk to them
that's what I'm getting at.
first.
Yeah, and that's reflected in the it's got to be reflected because it's in the trailers of the voice acting and the
Southern
know,
Charm.
yeah, that sort of thing.
And it loves nature with the Orin, and then the Granok just kind of mercenaries hired to protect and that kind of thing.
Badass.
But even
rock.
then, they're kind of like the friendly, laughing, laid back mercenaries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Drink beer and shoot people in the face.
personally, I would just tell someone if the easy sell for me is, dude, there's fucking furries. Like, what's wrong with you? And then if that doesn't sell them, I'll be like, there's rock people made out of motherfucking rocks.
Giant badass rock.
They're made out of fucking rocks. Like, what else
There's
do you need?
such a huge demographic of people that want to play as a furry.
That's all I'm saying.
Or a
like,
rock.
Or a rock. Like, seriously, dude, there's a fucking rock. Or you finally, you just be like, fine, you don't like either of those? Space zombies.
Yep.
You know what I
Dead
mean? Like,
cyborgs.
Mordesh.
and then like, well, I don't know, zombies, I'm not really into zombies. You'd be like, steampunk zombies. And they'll be like, oh, shit. So, I'm just
just
saying,
gotta-
like,
You just gotta say the Mordesh like I say it.
yeah, the,
Mordesh.
they look like I said it.
Well, and you know what else? All you got to say, Exiles are modeled after Firefly. TV
Yes.
show.
Yeah.
That's all.
Now
That's
the
all you
brown
need.
coats.
Brown coats.
I feel
Right,
like
that's what-
that. I don't see. I just. Yep. I agree in a
I
certain
get
way.
the feel from it. It's
The whole
maybe not
feel
modeled
is-
after it, but it's
Yeah.
definitely got a similar feel.
I okay.
I look at the Dominion as like the sort of just overwhelming military power. Like if that appeals to you, and for some people that will be appealing because they like to play and feel powerful in their sort of story, I guess. The Dominion will really fit those people, and the Exiles are, and they do give me that vibe of the brown coats from Firefly, which will draw a lot of people, I think, because they'll be like, yeah, because it's like the Rebel Alliance and the Empire, from Star Wars. Very few people back the Empire because the Empire is the big military might, sort of can crush people at a whim, and the Exiles are the people trying to stop them, trying to just get by and live in this universe that the Dominion seem to just control with a stranglehold.
Well, it's so funny because I heard a really cool side perspective of that the other day. I read a forum post, and it made me look at it a little differently. Where the guy was saying, the Dominion have been given their god, by the gods, or what? I'm sorry, what are the names?
Elden.
The Eldens. Thank you. So they were, they were picked by the Elden to run this world, and then the Exiles were all like, dude, we don't want your fucking gods. We don't want your shit. And they were all like, fuck this noise. And they rebelled. And so you can actually, if you really like twisted it properly, you could look at the Exiles as the bad guys, like being the douchebags, being the mercenaries, the guys that steal, the plunders, the space pirates. So, I mean, you could look at it in that sense, too. They could be the space pirates. But, I mean, obviously, with the way that they've done the voice acting and stuff like that, you've got that, good thing. You've got that Southern charm, and like I've said. But I think that also something that if someone was like, hey, should I play Exiles or should I play Dominion, you could say to them, the Exiles have... So most people will be like, so if you compare it to WoW, so you can tell them the Exiles have the Alliance look, but they have the Horde lore. So
Yeah.
once again,
Yeah.
Exiles have the Alliance look, meaning pretty. You've got your humans. Everybody's got the humans. You've got the Orin. They're like kind of night elfy because they like they like nature and all that other shit. Then you've got the Granok, which is kind of like
Not
the
pretty.
dwarves. I don't think it's like
I guess.
anything, to be honest. I mean,
Yeah.
all right, fine. That just kind of fell apart in my hands, guys. Fuck you.
Well, the Granite are kind of they're big and brutish, but they're kind of doing it in a teddy bear type of way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They're, everything is nicer. Like it just has a nicer appeal, which is really funny because personally, normally I would be like, "Fuck that shit, let's go play the bad guys." I always like to play the bad guys. For some reason, man, this game I am so drawn to the good guys for once. It's the weirdest shit. So I know these guys are the same way. I'm not the only
Yeah.
one.
I think the best for me, knowing my friends, the way I would pitch the Exiles to them, if I was going to pitch the Exiles to them, would be particular people would be drawn to particular races as part of the Exiles faction.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a friend who would just love the Granok. So I'll be like, dude, these guys are just badass. Like they will just go in, they will smash things to pieces, and then afterwards they'll kick back with a 6-pack. Like that's like and they'll be laughing and they'll be telling off color jokes and they'll be squaring off their heads and what have you, and he'll be like, dude, that's awesome, I want to play one of those guys. What the hell are they? And I'll be like, dude, they're also giant rock people. And he'd be like, holy crap, why am I playing one already? It's just you just gotta, someone's phone just transformed into a transformer and it's gonna kill
Yeah,
someone.
that's me. I'll
Nice.
turn the ringer off.
Please silence your cell phones during broadcasts of podcasts.
God damn. Everyone just flanting on YouTube. For
Yeah, but it's a
phone
very,
transform.
very cool ringtone, though.
It is.
It was good.
It is. It should be Wildstar related though. I'm just saying.
No.
It's-
Okay.
no.
I almost did that with Guild Wars 2. No. You don't want to do that. I almost did that with Guild Wars 2, and I set my alarm to the Guild Wars 2 intro theme.
That's
Worst
what I did.
mistake I have ever done, because every time my alarm went off, I was like, "Fuck you, Guild Wars 2!" Every time I logged into the game, I was like, "Why am I waking up? What's happening?" It was bad association. Don't do it. Don't do it. People always think that's a good idea. It's not. It's a bad idea.
Well, you didn't get to the one thing that I wanted you to get to with the races and comparing them to Alliance. Look, the Mordesh look like they've been elves previously before they got all the Z's.
Yeah. We had a
Years.
question on the community about that. They asked us. Maybe if I have the picture, I could pull it up. I'll try to put it in later. There's a picture of I think it's actually, to be honest, it's right on the main page of the announcement. The Mordesh dude has night elf ears.
Yeah.
Like most of them do. If they don't
Yeah.
have some piece of metal that's stuck to the side of their head because their ear fell off or got chewed off or whatever, their ears are very pointy.
Yeah,
And
they
it's
look like elves, and I'm not quite sure what the reasoning behind that was. Maybe, I mean, hey,
'cause elves are the prettiest race ever.
you know what? Actually, as I was falling asleep last night, I was thinking about this because I knew this was going to come up. I swear to God, I was thinking about this, and this is what I came up with. So, like, you know how we'll wear clothing to look like certain people, or we'll cut our hair because we see like someone that we want to look like, right? Yes, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So basically, what it means is that. Sorry for that, by the way. I just got like a Skype call in the middle of my conversation because I forgot to put it on Do Not Disturb. I'm doing that right now. Okay, we're good. Totally distracted me too because
Yeah,
I was like,
because we're so professional here.
yeah, we're totally
Text
Yeah.
and Skype
super
and
professional.
God. So
cats.
no. So what I dreamt of was this: is that maybe because this is the future, they play World of Warcraft.
Wait,
So
it's
they
still going
want
in
to
the
look
future?
like elves.
So they want to look
Oh
like
my God.
elves.
Mm.
Maybe they're cosplayers.
You know what?
You drink yesterday.
Maybe Carbine just decided there wasn't enough pointy ears on that side of the thing, because on the other side you've got the Chua with the pointy ears, you've got the Draken with the pointy ears.
Well,
Makari's almost always got like wings
Like,
hanging off the side of their head.
we don't know we don't know the Mordesh origins though, because don't the Elden have a bit of pointy ears though? We don't know if they're descended from their long lost Elden, like
that's
descendants or
true.
something like that,
Could
or
be.
another hybrid race. What was it? There was a Wildstar Wednesday on the Lumini or Luminari, I think. They were
Yeah.
half Elden, half I think human, and they had pointy
Yeah.
ears. So maybe there's some sort of like descendants of hybrids, like Elden whatever hybrids, and that's where they get their pointy ears from.
Someone's fucking around. Pretty soon we're gonna have Rowdowser heads. It's gonna be fucking weird, man.
Oh shit.
Oh god.
Sheep.
Hey,
fucker.
I know we've
Yeah.
touched on this before, and we're doing a lot on the Mordesh, but we should probably. I mean, Damien talked a little bit about the Granok, and if you had your buddy that would want to go with the Granok or whatever, why don't we go over the other races too?
True, that's a
that
good
are
idea.
on Alliance.
Good
And
idea.
I know
Alright.
Tristan from day one saw that bunny chick with the tail and said, "I've got to play
I
that."
don't know why. And usually
It
I'm
is
like,
sick.
no, usually I'm like, I want to play the ugliest, meanest, most intimidating
No.
character. Yes, Guild Wars 2 was the only exception
Trolls.
to that. It was
All
the
right.
only
Yeah,
exception.
Trolls. You played trolls.
I played
Wow.
Trolls in WoW. I
Yeah.
played like weird orky things in other games. Dude, I've always been like, play the ugly thing or play a human and look like myself. That was it. Sir Tristan, and I was done. So
Except for Guild Wars.
Except
Did
for
you even
Guild
have
Wars.
a male character in Guild Wars?
no, I didn't like the male characters. Well, I got like the revelation in Age of Conan where I made a chick
Oh.
because it was like, oh, I can see my tits. So I was
Yeah, because they
I
didn't
was-
have bras.
I was younger. I was like, tits. Anyway,
What do you mean when you were younger? You're still like that now.
maybe no, but so I made that character and it was very interesting to me because I was like, this is I'm smaller, I'm tinier, I like the outfits better, I do fashion photography in real life, so it's like, dude, this is really fun. It's like I get to dress up my character and kind of pull myself out of reality and not have to associate with my avatar as much, which made it feel more immersive to me. So that was the switch for me. So that was what you saw after Guild Wars and all that shit. Anyway, so I saw the Orin.
So
By the way,
Orin.
just so we're here, we have 5 minutes, so we're gonna have to do this quickly if we want to do through all
Smash
the
this
things. So the Orin. Why would you want to play the Orin? I'd say there's a couple reasons. You like nature. You think that creepy little furry characters are cool. You want to have a tail. That's definitely a good
And
one.
ears.
The ears. There's multiple types of ears that they've shown us, right? Like there's just different types of stuff.
Yeah, I think I saw a video where one of the guys had like a fox ear type thing.
Yeah.
Fox ears,
in a-
bunny ears. A bunch
Yeah.
Of
They just look really interesting in that regard, and the video I think really portrays them as like, being very understanding of the world around them and also keeping to themselves, but understanding that people kind of make fun of them a little bit, but taking it in stride. I don't know. They're adorable. What the fuck else do you need? Fuck.
To me, they're a little bit too cutesy, just from what I've
Yeah.
seen with Carbine's released. I mean, you see some gameplay where they really, really bounce a lot when they jump and run.
Adorable.
But it's a little bit too much for me. But
Sorry.
if they could make one that's more feral and like the really disgruntled, mad-looking one, that's like,
that would be cool
yeah,
too. I agree.
call
There
me
should be an
cute
option.
and I'll rip your face off.
Yeah, there
I
should be
could- I
options.
could play it if it was like that. But
That's cool.
Yeah, maybe.
not my favorite. But there are definitely people out there who want that cutesy, want that bunny look.
So give us the Granok
Okay.
in 1 minute or less. Go.
Go.
Badass rock people. Done.
No, I know. That's all you need. Rock.
Kind of. Yeah, I think they're the kind of big, brutish. They're the big, tanky-looking race, and me personally, I like playing the races and class combinations that don't fit well together. Like I would love it if Granite could be a stealth type class, because I mean, really, you expect this big mountain to be stealth in front of you.
You're
Right
weird.
now, the only thing they have announced is Warrior for it, so I'm not getting my hopes up that that's going to be
No,
the
I don't
way.
think they're gonna do
No.
that.
Probably
either.
not.
I
But
Doesn't make any
I just have
sense.
this mental image of like a Tauren rogue.
oh, I would have played that second if I could. But I'll talk more about this type of thing in the Dominion one because I've got a perfect example of it. But they're the big, beefy-looking, get-in-your-face, smash things race. But then at the same time, like I said earlier, they're a little bit teddy bearish. They're the guys that'll go smash things and then afterwards have a beer and
They're like
Yeah.
frat
So-
boys.
Like
a little bit.
I,
Yeah.
they're,
It's like
they're like boot
yeah.
camp. They're like the kids
Yeah.
that go to boot camp. They're not quite, they haven't gone to Afghanistan and seen the crazy shit yet, and they're not quite all the way through their training at the same time, so they're just kind of like, woo, shoot some guns, drink some beer, fuck some women.
They make
Or
me think
rocks.
of they make me think of the Kool-Aid guy. Like, oh yeah.
No, I think I love their military part too, like the mercenary part, and we've seen some of the pictures of them having like helmets on and the straps, and they just look like they're just strapping, and they just look badass. I don't know about the females.
When they see the
I don't think
shots
I've
of them,
seen
they
one.
look
I think
kinda
I've only
weird.
seen the one guy that they keep putting in all the trailers.
Trailers.
I swear I saw the one female in a screenshot that had like some sort of weird thing.
You know
On her
they'll
head.
fix it.
Band
though.
on her head. It was weird.
It was a little weird. I don't know,
Really
but
strange looking.
other than that, I guess you know they're pretty badass. 30 seconds, by the way.
Moving on.
Well,
Did we miss?
and then you got
a class?
humans,
Oh,
and I think the big draw for humans is they can play every class, I believe.
yes.
So
Yeah,
you
I
can
think
do
so, yeah.
anything and be a human if you want, and if you just want to be the,
It's a human.
get in there, worry about it. Yeah.
I think they're cute in this game. I think they made the proportions right. They made them look nice, and they're very aesthetically pleasing. And I think people will definitely relate to the humans, so that's nice.
And I think that's across the board because of the really sort of the style, the artistic style that goes into this game. None of I haven't looked at any of the races and I've gone, that doesn't look appealing to play. You know, like when I played WoW, there were races that I just went, yeah, I'm never going to play one of those because they don't look good. But with both factions, the Exiles and the Dominion, I haven't looked at any of them and just gone, yeah, that doesn't look appealing. Even the Chewer look cool. Like
Yeah.
you watch them jumping around and shooting things in the face.
Okay,
they're
and
kinda
on that note, you're 30 seconds over, and you're going into the Dominion podcast. So on that note, it's a good time to stop it. Like we said, guys, seriously, we get lots of questions on our forums. You can tweet at AltTabMe and ask us some questions, or you can just talk on our YouTube channel, maybe ask us some questions there. But either way, thank you for watching. And this has been AltTabMe.com with a Wildstar podcast. We will see you guys next time.